Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
A Rockford family is hoping someone will hear their heartache and share anything they know about Cedric Merriweather's death. He went missing in November of 2016. His body was found and ruled a homicide. Coming up, hear from his sister. News says trick-or-treating has to be limited to one day of the year. Some Rockford kids have their stash growing already. We'll show you more of the drive-through event later. As the daily case average of COVID-19 drops, health officials give an update on how families can expect to celebrate the holidays this year. Good evening, I'm Alexis Carpello. A Rockford family is desperate for answers and tips related to their loved one's death. It's been years since the 36-year-old Rockford man was murdered. Rachel Perry spoke with his sister today, and she tells you, Rachel, not a day goes by that they don't think of him.
Alexis, Cedric Merriweather went missing November of 2016. Shortly after, his body was found in Kent Creek, and his death was ruled a homicide. Now, nearly 5 years later, his sister tells me she needs to know what happened to her brother.
What gave you the right to just make this decision on his life and our family lives? Who are you?
Victoria Merriweather is still searching for answers in her brother's death. The father of three left home November 7, 2016 to get diapers from the store and never returned.
So when I got the call, it was around 3:30-ish. I was right before I was leave work, and my mom's like, he's dead.
2 days later, Victoria tells me her brother Cedric Merriweather was murdered and found dead in Kent Creek in Rockford. An autopsy showed he died from blunt force trauma to the head and drowning, and ruled a homicide investigation.
And do you believe that there would be any reason that someone would want to kill your brother? Any motive whatsoever?
I honestly don't know. By me not living in Rockford, I know he had met some people. I honestly can't say.
Nearly 5 years later, she says her family just wants answers.
No, we haven't gotten anything. It's just, what happened? Why him? Why at that moment? Why at that time?
Victoria says she hopes someone will come forward and help the Rockford Police Department.
I do remember him saying the streets aren't talking, which to me isn't fair because no one's going to tell on themselves. So I don't think they did enough footwork, and I honestly don't believe that my brother's case was put to the forefront.
Now, Victoria is begging the person responsible for Cedric's death to turn themselves in.
When you kill a person, when you murder a person, whatever, if that person's done something to you or not, that person is okay. It's the family that's dealt with remnants of what you've done.
Victoria is asking the Rockford Police Department to revisit her brother's case. She says her family just wants answers and justice for Cedric, and she tells me she misses her little brother. Rockford Police were unavailable for comment at this time. Alexis?
All right, thanks, Rachel. A Beloit man is dead after a single car crash Saturday night. Town of Beloit police were called to the area of South Paddock Road and West Spring Creek Road around 11:15 last night for a car in the trees near the intersection. Police say a 67-year-old man was pinned inside the vehicle. He was cut out and taken to the hospital, where he later died. Investigators believe speed was a factor. They don't know exactly when the crash happened. Police are still investigating those details. The victim's name hasn't been released. Some state-led kids have their Halloween stash growing early this year. Tinker Swiss Cottage in Rockford hosted their 4th annual Trunk or Treat. This year, kids drove past and collected their sweet treats, debuting their costumes without having to get them wet in the rain. Organizers are helping keep the Halloween spirit alive all October. Hospital admissions of COVID-19 have been down nationally by an average of nearly 40% in last month, with more Americans getting vaccinated. But some are defying vaccine mandates, even at the risk of losing their job. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
Get vaccinated or get fired. That's the decision many American workers are now facing. New York City considering more vaccine requirements for municipal employees, which could include the NYPD and FDNY. On the other side of the country, the Los Angeles County Sheriff says he won't enforce the county vaccine mandate at his agency.
I don't want to be in a position to lose 5-10% of my workforce overnight on a vaccine mandate, while at the same time our bare bones with the funding effort.
In Seattle, almost 300 sworn police officers still haven't submitted vaccination proof before the October 18th deadline, meaning they could be let go. The daily case average in the U.S. is down nearly 39% in the last month, with more Americans getting their shots. Experts say it is safe to trick or treat outdoors this Halloween, especially if vaccinated. Dr. Fauci on CNN's State of the Union.
It's a very important part of the year for children. Go out there and enjoy Halloween as well as the other holidays that will be coming up.
Some states are still seeing a rise in cases. ICUs in Utah overwhelmed.
It's extremely rare that we get a patient that isn't here for COVID.
The policy lab at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia warning infection rates could go up as we head into winter. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
The debate over President Biden's multi-trillion-dollar budget rages on. Democrats continue to bicker among themselves while Republicans attack them for their plan and their disarray. Our Washington correspondent Basil John is keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
Good evening. Democrats continue to negotiate within their party to make the president's goal a reality as Republicans are kept out of talks. The Biden administration says it's doing all it can to bring Democrats together.
We're working and talking with members of Congress.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen told ABC's This Week these negotiations are necessary.
This is an historic opportunity that we have to invest in this country.
That investment is stuck in Congress. Progressive House Democrats say they won't vote for a bipartisan infrastructure bill, which passed the Senate, not until the Senate also passes the president's multi-trillion-dollar Build Back Better budget.
We are coming closer and closer to an agreement on this.
On CNN's State of the Union, Minnesota Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar said she believes the president will win over the two moderate Senate Democrats, Senators Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona and Joe Manchin of West Virginia. The bill cannot pass without their support.
I know Senator Manchin. I know the people involved in this. I've been in the rooms. We will get these bills done.
Manchin and Sinema say the president's plan to address issues like affordable drug prices, child care, and climate change is too expensive. Republicans say Democrats need to quit fighting among themselves and work with the GOP.
I wish they'd negotiate with Republicans in the House.
House Republican Whip Steve Scalise on Fox News Sunday.
They just have an insatiable appetite to raise taxes and spend more money. It would kill jobs. It would hit middle-class families.
The House will return on Tuesday to vote on a bill to increase the debt limit, which should avert a financial crisis and give Democratic lawmakers a few more weeks to come together. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
Now, your firstborn weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, we've had plenty of cloud cover out there this morning, afternoon, and from that, showers and some very heavy rainfall that has come down along with a few thunderstorms. Nothing severe, but some of the thunderstorms early this morning did have some gusty winds. A little break in some of the activity here late this afternoon and evening. We still got plenty of moisture overhead, but the jet stream, which was allowing these thunderstorms to develop, kind of pushing a little further, I should say, to our west and northwest. So we'll deal with a mostly dry evening, although can't rule out an isolated shower or two here, especially west and northwest of the Rockford area as we go through the rest of this evening. All of this tied into kind of a complex storm system that will stay with us the next couple of days and actually bring another round of rain and thunderstorms, some of which could be on the severe side for some tomorrow afternoon. Area of low pressure up to the north. We've got a cold front attached to that to our west here this evening. That tied into another area of low pressure over the southern plains. That is actually going to bring severe weather across parts of Oklahoma and North Texas later this evening and early overnight, but it's that low pressure system that'll move closer to us during the day tomorrow. We've got a much more active jet stream overhead, one of which will come with a low pressure system tomorrow, and then another one on Wednesday that'll keep that shower thunderstorm chance in play across much of the Midwest and the Great Lakes. So let's go ahead and time things out here as we go through the rest of this evening. We've got the chance for some showers and an isolated thunderstorm, but as I mentioned, most of this evening here expected to stay dry. I think as we get closer to about midnight, we'll start to see the chance for a few showers, isolated thunderstorm or two kind of work back in here as we head towards the early morning hours tomorrow. Little increase in some of the activity as one, that low pressure system, and two, that cold front comes closer to us by about
11, 12 o'clock tomorrow. It's the afternoon and evening we'll have to pay close attention to. That low pressure system will be moving up into eastern Iowa during the afternoon. An arcing cold front will then work across parts of western and central Illinois and redevelop a few thunderstorms, some of which could be strong to severe and even edging here into far northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. We do have a slight risk, actually a very large area where we have to keep an eye on, stretching all the way from Green Bay down through southern Illinois and then back through Indiana and Michigan. That's a level 2 out of 5 for that severe risk. All hazards of severe weather possible, including the potential for tornadoes. That tornado threat, however, conditional. Think it might be a little further to the south and really dependent on how much sunshine we're able to see for tomorrow afternoon. So here's what the afternoon looks like. We've got that wave of shower thunderstorm activity coming through about noon. That'll pass to our east. Another wave of shower thunderstorm activity working up with the arrival of that cold front. That'll stay with us through much of the evening. This will keep the cloud cover around Monday night into early Tuesday. Tuesday actually we'll start to see some breaks in the clouds and temperatures back into the lower 70s. Live look with our Mercy SkyTrack camera now out in Rochelle. Look at the numbers here where we've been able to see just a little bit more sunshine and not as much rainfall. We're in the mid and upper 70s, 72 in Rockford, Janesville, 70 for our weather watcher Ben here in South Beloit. It'll stay fairly muggy tonight, down to 66 degrees. Again, most of the evening staying dry. Isolated shower through the evening. We'll kind of see that pick back up around midnight. Showers, thunderstorms increasing through the morning tomorrow, and then watching the afternoon for that strong to severe potential. Muggy too, temperatures in the mid 70s. Winds at times could be gusting close to 30 miles per hour. After that, we'll see our numbers take a little bit of a dip. We should be mostly dry on Tuesday, 72. Chance for showers, thunderstorms comes back into the picture on Wednesday, and then a slight chance late Thursday into Friday. But notice the temperatures then, after we were in the 80s yesterday, will stay in the 60s as we head towards this upcoming weekend.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with David Greenberg.
Week 5 of the NFL season on this rainy Sunday. The Green Bay Packers played in the noon slate down in Cincinnati as they took on Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Starting the fourth quarter, because this one got wild. 3:30 to go in the game. Joe Burrow moves the Bengals down the field, and Joe Mixon caps it off with a touchdown. 2-point conversion good. We're tied up at 22. But there's 3:30 to play, and for Aaron Rodgers, that's an eternity. He works the Packers down the field, sets up a 36-yarder for Mason Crosby, and it's no good. But there's still 2 minutes left for the Bengals to go and win this thing. Burrow gets him in position for a 57-yarder, and the kick from Evan McPherson is up. And it's doinked, but there's still 21 seconds left in the game. All the Packers need is about 15 yards to get in range for their own field goal. They do just that, and the kick from Crosby from 51 is wide left, so we're going to overtime. The Packers picked off Burrow on the first drive of overtime, so that they got a chance to win with a field goal. And this one is no good, also wide left. The Bengals live to fight another drive, and they get themselves back in field goal range. McPherson from 49 looks good, but it's hooking left. They celebrate, but it's off the upright and no good. You got to be kidding me. So now the Packers have one more shot. They get the ball back and they work it down into field goal range, also from 49 yards. This one, dead straight. What a wild finish. But in the end, the Packers pull through, move to 4-1 with the 25-22 win.
Unfortunately, been a part of a couple weird ones, but when you play this game for a long time, you see a lot of different things. So that was a strange one.
All that matters was that last one. That's the only one I remember. I don't even remember how many he missed. I just remember the one he made.
There was some high blood pressure going on throughout the entirety of the game, especially there at the end. But bottom line is we're 4-1.
Well, how about that one? It feels like ever since Urban Meyer learned that James Robinson's a pretty dynamic weapon in his offense, he's really run the ball a ton, and Robinson has flourished. And how about the day Robinson had for the Jags? 18 rushes, 149 yards, and this touchdown right here. Robinson starting to dominate like he did last year with another big performance, but unfortunately not enough as the Jags lose another one, 37-19. The Bears are in Las Vegas taking on the Raiders. There's no more quarterback competition for the Bears as Fields was named the definitive starter moving forward. Can't show highlights of this game's off the air due to NFL rules and regulations, but they're in the third quarter up 14-3. Well, coming up tonight, it's do or die time for the Chicago White Sox. Game 3 of the ALDS. Win or go home for the Sox, who trail 2-0 in the series. It'll be Luis Garcia for the Astros and the 25-year-old Dylan Cease making his first postseason start. Tony La Russa decided to go with Cease over Carlos Rodon in this game. First pitch tonight at 7:07.
Candace is back with one last look at our forecast and to talk about a little bit more of that potentially severe weather we're going to have.
Yeah, it is a potential tomorrow, so it's always good to kind of be weather aware. You know, when we get into the fall season, that can sometimes be kind of a second peak with severe weather across parts of the area. Nothing, though, for us tonight. The rain thunderstorms we had earlier today, those are moving out. We should see a mostly cloudy sky here for the rest of this evening. Temperatures tonight will be muggy in the mid-60s. 75 for tomorrow. Showers will be increasing through the morning, coming through about the noon hour, and then it's in the afternoon and evening we watch potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms, and then we've got 60s by the end of the week.
Well, thanks for making us your home team. We hope you have a great night.